Hello again, future teachers. Today we are going to talk about question-answer relationships, or QARs. In a QAR, sections of a specific story are split up, and each section will contain a certain question. The first question that will be asked is specifically in the text, where students will look at the story that's been read and they will find the answer that's right in the story. The second one is in the think and search. In this case, an answer may not be directly in the text, but it will be somewhere in the story, and they will have to search for it in the book. The third question that will be asked after the third section has been read is, what do you think may happen in this story? This, you don't really have any text help. This is more what you think may happen in the story. The last part of this section is authoring you. In this case, you can be the author, and you may think that there may be something different in the story that you may like to change, or as far as the ending, you might have a different idea. And today, we are actually going to model this strategy for you with Frog and Toad, our friends, and we will start off with the first story called Spring. Well, hello, Hannah.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Today, we are going to read Frog and Toad, Spring.
Okay.
Are you ready? Frog ran up the path to Toad's house. He knocked on the front door, but there was no answer. Toad! Toad! Shouted Frog. Wake up! It is spring! Blah! Said a voice from inside the house. Toad! Toad! Cried Frog. The sun is shining. The snow is melting. Wake up! I am not here, said the voice. Frog walked into the house. It was dark. All the shutters were closed. Toad, where are you? Called Frog. Go away, said the voice from the corner of the room. Toad was lying in bed. Now, Hannah, just from reading the first 3 pages of Frog and Toad, who is Frog trying to wake up in this story?
He was trying to wake up Toad.
That is so great. Let's see what else happens in this story. He had pulled all the covers over his head. Frog pushed Toad out of bed. He pushed him out of the house and onto the front porch. Toad blinked in the bright sun. Help, said Toad. I cannot see anything. Don't be silly, said Frog. What you can see is the clear, warm light of April. And it means that we can begin a whole new year together, Toad. Think of it, said Frog. We will skip through the meadows and run through the woods and swim in the river. In the evenings, we will sit right here on this front porch and count the stars. You can count them, Frog, said Toad. I will be too tired. I am going back to bed. Now, Hannah, in this story, what was Frog looking forward to doing with Toad in the new year?
I think he wanted to run through the meadows. He wanted to count the stars and swim in the river.
That's right. Let's see what happens next. Toad went back into the house. He got into the bed and pulled on the covers over his head again. But Toad, cried Frog, you will miss all the fun. Listen, Frog, said Toad, how long have I been asleep? You have been asleep since November, said Frog. Well then, said Toad, a little more sleep will not hurt me. Come back again and wake me up at 1/2 May. Good night, Frog. But Toad, said Frog, I will be lonely until then. Toad did not answer. He had fallen asleep. Frog looked at Toad's calendar. The November page was still on top. Frog tore off the November page. Now, Hannah, after reading these pages, what do you think Frog will do with this calendar?
I think maybe he's going to count all the days, and he's going to mark them off each day until Frog's awake.
Wow.
Or Toad's awake.
That is such a great observation. Let's see what he does. Frog tore off the December page, the January page, the February page, and the March page. He came to the April page. Frog tore off the April page too. Then Frog ran back to Toad's bed. "Toad! Toad! Wake up! It's May now!" "What?" said Toad. "Can it be May so soon?" "Yes," said Frog. "Look at your calendar." Toad looked at the calendar. The May page was on top. "Why, it is May," said Toad as he climbed out of bed. Then he and Frog ran outside to see how the world was looking in the spring. Now, Hannah, if you were Frog, would you have woken up Toad by ripping off all of the calendar pages? Or do you think maybe you have a different idea of how you could have woken up Toad?
I think I would have made a lot of noise, and then he would have for sure woken up.
Whoa, well that is such a great observation. Now, when we have our stories that we're going to write, you can use some of your ideas in your story to make it sound more interesting. So this is how we have demonstrated question-answer relationship, or QAR, with Toad and Frog, our friends. Thank you!